Anna's going to answer the phone.
Oh, I think it's Al Peters, one of our customers. You ever watched the Tool Talk?
I have a few times. Oh. I'm just going to sign in. To demo account.
Oh, they need that. Hey, what's up, T-Town?
Uh-oh.
Got Tim Johnson in the house. Your echo in.
Oh, I am. Hold on. That's probably better. Maybe. What's up, everybody? Yeah. Figure out how to get in front of this. I got to close my curtain. Oh, my God.
Portal for the. What's up, Jaybird? What's up, Peter?
Close my portal.
I don't think your speakers are on because my mic is on.
I can hear Alex. Yep. If I can hear him, you can hear him. And if you can't hear him, then you can't hear me either. That's just how it goes. So who wants to know things about Tint Wiz? I know we only got 5 people in here right now, but I didn't give everybody a whole lot of heads up. I was watching TikTok with him on today. Nice job.
Thank you. Was it good? Did you enjoy it?
Am I really that soft spoken?
I can hear you.
I can hear you. Maybe I'm just loud. Hard saying. What is going on with my camera? This is me in front of my camera. This is me off to the side. I think my camera's messed up. It is stupid. And what's this? Oh, you know what? I know what it is. Things doing stupid things. Yep. That's exactly what it is. That's rude.
When I was cutting some of your hair out.
Huh?
Yeah. Your hair's patchy. Favorite says you can add extra blade to the little blue hard card sharpener to get it to cut more blade. Fine. I'm going to try that. Love us some Tint Wiz. I keep my my Tint Wiz tri-edges on deck.
Always ready.
I still have a little wiggler still in the plastic.
It's the only way to keep it.
My gaps are bad, you know. I'm all whizzed out.
Love it. So if they have any questions about Tint Wiz, ask away.
Yeah.
So
yeah, like things you guys didn't figure out how to do or something.
So I'm trying to see. All right, so who are you and what do you do?
Who am I? So my name is Cadeau. It's spelled K-A-D-O. It is French. It means present, like a gift. So if you forget my name, you can always call me Gift if you want to. And I work for Tint Wiz, as you can tell. I am the Chief Education Coordinator for Tint Wiz, which means I do a lot of cool stuff, content, training. If you need some training, but realistically, the goal is that people, if they have questions, there's the Tint Wiz community on Facebook, which is a super helpful resource to have, because there's a lot of different shops that use a lot of different services. So it's very helpful if you have any questions to go into the Tint Wiz community on Facebook, because everybody does stuff differently. You get lots of tips and tricks. The other one is obviously the live chat is really, really good. And we're trying to put out a lot more content, educational stuff as well. So there is a lot of YouTube videos out there already if you're looking to learn some stuff there. But yeah, if you have any quick questions, live chat's always the place to go. Tint Wiz community on Facebook. And my job is just to kind of educate kind of in the back end of stuff as much as possible, and come out to cool things like this and show face and just add value to people's lives.
So I had saw a question, somebody actually relatively local to me was asking on there how to go about adding multiple solutions to a single proposal or something like that. He was talking in like automotive for like if they wanted ceramic on the front but regular dyed on the rear, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And when I saw it, he didn't seem to have a lot of traction with responses, and I'm trying to remember what exactly. I know T-Town gave him a suggestion. Maybe Tim remembers maybe Tim remembers.
I mean, I can definitely, I can go show you a generic kind of proposal that I owned a shop myself before working for Tint Wiz for about 4.5 years. And we did everything from, I guess, a quick little back end on me. I'm not just this guy that works for Tint Wiz. I'm not just some guy off the street doesn't know anything about the industry. I owned my own shop, started fresh by myself, had zero business experience, and we did commercial graphics, commercial signs, paint protection film, ceramic coating, PPF, window tint, flat glass, basically anything and everything that's in the industry we kind of offered, other than like audio stuff. That was never my thing. So I've been using Tint Wiz myself since like week one that I opened. And so I have a lot of knowledge on it. I have my own story, my own success stories on it. I've had employees, I've been by myself. So I kind of have a good, general idea of what it's like to be able to like scale it with employees and also use it as a one-man shop, and how much time you save, the efficiency of it, and all those kind of things. So is the screen shared right now?
I can do that.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is.
Awesome. So some of these are kind of like, again, generic, but they're a little bit of my taste on what I had set up in Tint Wiz. So you can kind of make it your own, add stuff, subtract stuff. Again, reaching out on the Tint Wiz Facebook page is super awesome. If you don't get any bites, maybe reposting it, or there's obviously some people that know a little bit more about it. But yeah, if you don't have any answers in there, the live chat's great. Or just reaching out to people that are involved, kind of, they use Tint Wiz on a daily basis. But yeah, so for proposals, I've got, I think, 1 or 2 maybe. So there's the GeoShield training coming up. So I've kind of prepared one for that specifically. So all this material in here you're going to see is all GeoShield stuff. But this is how I had my proposals set up for my own business. Again, I set all this up when I was by myself, and I needed to be efficient. Like I've slept at my shop more times than I can count, because I just worked and time was of the essence. So for me, it was setting proposals up as easy as possible. So the first one we have here, and feel free to cut me off if this is not really what you were referring to.
Well, I actually found the post.
Okay.
So it reads, please fix the issue or tell me how to add 2 films to one solution. I've had multiple clients ask to have everything on one so it's less confusing. If the customer wants his upper windows, this is actually on a house. If a customer wants his upper windows darker in his living room, they should be able to see the whole living room on one solution, and it only gives me an option to approve one solution on the customer's end.
All right, so let's go maybe into see if I understand it correctly. What do we got? We'll do a flat glass. So if we go into create a proposal, so he essentially wants the proposal to be all one, different films. Correct?
Yeah. So like his for instance is like on double hung windows. If the customer wants to go darker on the upper windows and lighter on the lower windows, or maybe I don't know. He used upper and lower, so maybe transoms and side lights, or. But my thought on that is, when you take your measurements, I mean, you label the windows and the film that you're going to use when you're doing the measurements, unless he's trying to just send a canned proposal.
Yeah, so I mean that's where I would have stuff set up is in this measurement section. Each one that you click on, it would have the upper windows here. You'd have what material it is, and then that second film there, and then you'd have that in as one, right?
Yeah.
So, and then the same thing would be for the automotive side, is pretty straightforward. Again, having all of those, so it's one proposal, but you have all of those different solutions on film types, right? So you'd have your high heat rejection, medium. I mean, this is what we have it looking like.
Okay. Yeah, so I just opened up the comment section, and Mike Leffler commented and said, when you add a room and measurements, only put the top half of the window, click the pool tab to select film, click save, then click save and new, and it will bring up the same room. Then you add the bottom half of the windows and select and blah, blah. And then he commented back and he says, thank you. Oh my God, I was going nuts. So sometimes the solution is actually an easy one, and we're looking for a button for that when it's already, it's just, for him, obviously it was more of a, look at what you already have to work with and break it up.
Exactly. And there's so many times, not so many times, there was a lot of times when I was, just starting out to use Tint Wiz, that I'd be like, I'd message live chat, be really, hey, it'd be really cool if we could do this. And he's like, well, it does exist, and this is how you do it. And just because we don't think about it in that specific way, exactly like this, then it seems like it either doesn't have it or whatever. And that's why it's super helpful to have that Tint Wiz community on Facebook. The more people that are on there that use it, the more beneficial it is, because we can get answers a lot faster for all these little tips and tricks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So can we just, for the sake, I know this video is out there. Oh my goodness, that makes a lot of noise.
You want me to answer it? Take an order?
Yeah. So
free shipping today.
Yeah. Well, we do free shipping over anything over 750,
in Canada.
But not to Canada. We do ship to Canada, but not for free. Although shipping to Canada isn't that much. It's the duties you guys have to pay to get it.
Yeah.
So let's take somebody through a basic setting up a can proposal, because this one thing that I notice is it's intimidating for a lot of people because they download the app and it's a blank slate. There's nothing there. It's like, what do I push? What do I do?
Yeah.
So let's just for yucks, let's create a can proposal for automotive. And since I know Helios window film is in there, let's go ahead and set something up for Helios as far as setting up something that somebody can use and send a customer over and over and over again.
Cool. What I'll do is I'm just going to hit this here. I'm going to copy and paste this introduction because it is something that should be in each one. I'll show you what it looks like right now. Just because it makes it a little easier for a client to understand. So this is the part that I copy and pasted out of this one here. And I would copy and paste this into each proposal and adjust, say, your deposit or whatever it is that you want to change. But yeah, let's go and do a new one. So we can add a new one. We'll go to manage, add new. And so this is where you get into your solutions. So solution one can be, you can have your good, better, best options. So entry level, mid-tier, high heat rejection, whatever you want. So we can call this, let's select HEE.
HEL iOS.
No you.
No, you.
iOS.
iOS. I'm getting
There
there.
we go.
I'm French. Okay, so what would be the entry level kind of?
Orbit, and you know what? I don't think we had Orbit when we had all these entered in, so we probably ought to get. We do. Oh my God, it's there.
We got it.
All right, Orbit is the entry level film.
Okay, and then we can price that at say 220.
289.
289. Perfect.
We're ballers up here in Michigan.
And then we'll call it good. So here we're not going to select the select together option because the select together option makes it so that any add-ons, that's what you'd select. So that when you want somebody to add a brow, if you select this, they can add that brow to whatever main solution that you want. So right now we want them to pick one of three options: our good, better, best option. And then any add-on on top of that, we'd select the select together, and then they can add those on. So for these three first options, we're not going to select the select together option. But this is where you'd add any images if you have anything to add of installs you've done, or PDF files if you have something in terms of heat rejection or any numbers that you want to run, but generally keeping it.
Yeah. I was too busy blabbing to get you a folder open with actual logos and files and things. So we're just going to pretend we have those in there.
Perfect. Easy enough. Yeah, that's basically it. We're going to add another solution.
Alva would be the better.
Great heat rejection.
Oh, and notice the wording that he's using. Instead of good, better, best, he's like good heat rejection, great heat rejection, And I got to imagine the Supernova is going to be like the best heat rejection.
So Nova is the next one.
Nova is the next one. Yeah.
Perfect. And that one is priced at
$389.
$389. So again, we're not going to select the select together because we want them to select one of these three options. And then if there's like one that you kind of like to push more than others, or, you know, you have that marketing aspect of it. I always had something like bestseller.
Okay.
And then the next one's going to be, you know, extreme heat rejection.
That would be the Supernova. So I like that. That's cool. And the reason we do it, and you notice our pricing structure, is we go $100 apart. And this is for a 4-door sedan, no windshield, of course. But we do them $100 apart because when you show the people the comparison on the heat box and everything, they really want that top one. And I found that if you shock them as much as possible with that top one, which honestly, $489 is not crazy shocking. It's still less than $500. But if that's out of their budget, their mind is screaming at them, you want this one though. And they'll drop down $100 and get the middle one. And we sell more Nova than anything.
Yeah.
Because of that. And we're in Michigan. Honestly, we get enough heat to warrant ceramic film about 3 weeks a year. And the rest of the time, the carbon's just fine. But we let the customer decide based on what they feel from the heat box versus what they want versus what they feel they can afford. And they almost always land in the middle, except for the people that money's not a big issue and they jump on the ceramic like immediately. Yeah. So
100%. So we're going to jump into settings here really quick, and we're just going to name this proposal. So this is, you said sedans.
Yeah, 4-door sedan, or well, sedans, because we don't
sedans.
We also don't do discounts for 2-door cars because they still use as much film. The windows are just longer.
And then in this proposal intro top notes, you can keep it blank or write a custom, you know, intro every time you want. Or this is where I had that copy pasted from our last proposal that we created.
Okay.
So doing these, as you can see down here, you'll have instructions on what each, you know, kind of special character can do. So like bold it or, you know, make it italic, whatever. So in this case, doing these will add the client's name automatically. So you don't have to worry about that. It'll automatically pop up. And
magic.
Yeah, super magic. And then again, this is something that I got. I got from Cody Becker. He knows a lot about Tint Wiz as well. And he helped me out because I was having issues with, you know, clients being like, hey, like I don't really understand my proposal, especially elder people. So this was a very easy visual. And since I added this probably 2 years ago, I've had 0 issues. So very easy. You get the icons in there. Everything's easy to understand. It's very transparent with your clients. Again, this is one thing here that I've added in myself, which is I edit this each time I send out a proposal. So if I think the car is going to take 5 hours, then I'll write 5 hours, 2 hours, whatever. But also to be very transparent with your client, let them know that it is an estimate only. And yeah, whatever other notes that you want to put in there. You know, drop off has to be at 8 a.m. or else you lose your spot in line. Those kind of things.
Okay, perfect. And it kind of piggybacks on what I was talking about last week on Tool Talk, setting yourself apart, because not only, I mean, having Tint Wiz alone is really cool for the customer, but this just shows that you can add in things like simplified instructions as to how to work this thing you just sent the customer that they've never seen before, you know, and simplify things like that. And the pictures, which I really wish I had been a little more prepared for this, but I'm really last minute kind of person, and so that's where we're at. But Matt showed me that for the first time. He stumbled across those, and he showed me his first set of proposals that he made on his Tint Wiz, and I'm like, oh my god, that looks so freaking amazing. Where for the most part over at my shop, we use Tint Wiz for just the flat glass, and we keep it in a real basic form to keep it simple. But and I don't do it. I just, when I was going out doing the flat glass jobs, I would just open it up so that I could send the invoice when it was time to get paid. Everything else was already done before I got there. So
yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of features on Tint Wiz that make it incredible to begin with. But for a lot of shops, a lot of people that I find anyways, a lot of them will like throw in a comment that like, if it was only for this one feature, it'd be worth it. If it was only for this feature, it'd be worth it. So the fact that like you get all these other features is definitely worth it. But for myself, it was the canned proposals. Like that saved me as a one-man shop when I first started, saved me so much time. And when time is money, or time is spending time with your family, or actually going home and sleeping instead of sleeping in the shop, that paid off a lot. So huge benefits to that, and so many other things. Like I'll just skip off to the side here, but like uploading images. Like I was at Matt's shop there for a little bit, and it's such an important thing of taking before and after pictures, videos, whatever you do. The great thing about Tint Wiz is it's in the projects. You have all of those before and after pictures, any notes of damage or anything like that. The rental car that I have right now has damage all over it. They told me that the rental company said there was nothing wrong with it, to go out and do my own inspection. And so I took a video walk around before I even got in it. And it's that easy. So there's a lot more benefits than just, canned proposals and things like that. It saved my ass a lot of times. So
yeah, for sure. And it gives you a place to store it, because I mean, just what you're saying, like I was telling you about our business model before, when we were going into other people's shops and taking care of their customers' cars, we found we would get blamed for stuff that we knew we didn't do, but there was no proof. So what we would do is every vehicle, we would do a quick walk around and then take pictures of any damage area near where we were going to work. And the only problem with that is it fills up your phone, and then you've got all these nonsense pictures that are just there. Like 6 months down the road, I'm out of storage space, but yet I have to go through and delete all these because, I held on to them for a period of time just in case, but then you forget about them because life moves forward, where Tint Wiz can just hold on to that stuff. So that's kind of cool.
100%. Huge benefit. And it stops from scrolling, right? You can add tags to each picture or video, whatever you want. You can label them before and after. So every time you hit before and after in the search, those videos come up, and you can get even more precise. Before Tesla, before this, add as many tags as you want, which makes it a lot easier to find than, trying to search it in your phone, scrolling for hours.
And then, can you take those pictures that are in there and add them to a proposal?
Exactly. Yeah. So the pictures that are in there, I mean, you could just save them, but they would end up in your, let's save this really quick. So they would end up in your uploads over here. So these ones I have tagged removal, tint removal. So again, you can easily upload that. Here I've got a value pack for a cleaning kit. Again, these are the kind of things that I would add on to my proposal. So it's like
so basically, as things are moving forward and you're starting to develop some pictures, and if, say, for instance, you put Tesla Model 3 before, Tesla Model 3 after, and somebody's whatever, it's there. So then when you make a proposal down the road and somebody calls and they're like, yeah, I got a Tesla Model 3, I was wanting to get tinted, you could actually put into their proposal the before and afters of the transformation of their vehicle.
100%. Exactly.
puts it right in front of them, and customers eat that shit up when you can show them a
They love
picture
it.
of their own vehicle tinted before they tinted it.
Yep. People are seeing to believing. That's for sure.
Mhm.
So yeah, so lots of benefits. A little sidetrack, but yeah. So let's maybe we can get back into here,
Oh yeah.
and then yeah, like this one here. One that I always loved to add was tint removal, because sometimes if you're too busy, your mind's busy, you're not thinking about asking the client about it. Well, at least when you send them the proposal, it's going to be in there. So um, it would be tint removals extra. If you have tint removal, don't forget to select this. Our rate is $80 an hour. And then so this is because this is an add-on now, and we want them to be able to select this as an additional thing. We'd hit that select together, and then we'd hit save, or again add any images that we want. So now it's an extra one in here.
Okay.
When
So
we
that
preview,
that explains all that then. So now I get it.
so now
I
we
always
have,
wondered how that.
you can select this, or you can select this, but now you can't select that. But if you want to add an additional thing, you'd hit add, and then now you have your tint removal and your heat rejection.
Nice.
Awesome. So yeah, a lot of people will come in for a set of doors, and they end up wanting their whole car done, and like with an SUV or a truck or something.
Hmm.
And so having those options on there would be like if you're going to do two fronts, you could also have a can proposal for the remainder of the vehicle, or
Exactly. Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
you could have two front windows up here, and then full vehicle option here. I personally always had things separate, so it was a separate proposal altogether. And then if they came in and they said, I just want the two windows, then I would resend them the proposal and say, okay, just look at the proposal with me right now, select option one, that's the two door, and hit approved. And that's, and it keeps it separate. And it's a little bit less, confusing to the client, because sometimes if you have a lot of add-ons, like we had the cleaning cleaning kit add-on in there as well. There's a brow. We had a brow in there, and we also had same day roll down. So we charged like $40 for that, and then they could roll their windows down the same day. So super easy add-ons. And again, like if you add a lot of add-ons, then it gets kind of overwhelming to some people. But if you start adding in, two windows, full car, half car, this, and it might get too confused, like way too confusing. So having separate proposals for back half of the car or your two front windows, all separate. And again, this stuff does take time. Like I took Christmas breaks that we were like shut down. This is exactly that time that I would take to build all these proposals, take the time to do it correctly, and then it's done. That's it. Every other day, it's like literally within seconds. Like if we do like a quick demo, like somebody calls right now, Tracy calls and get her number, and you don't have to have an email. It's very not an obligation. Everything else is good. We'll save that. We're going to add a project. We say they got a brand new 24 Cybertruck. Adding the color is always a good option as well. It makes, when you're looking through contacts, a lot easier to find that, you're like, oh, I remember they had a blue car. it's a lot easier to find a blue little square behind or beside contacts names versus trying to remember everything else.
Okay.
So we just created that contact. Now we're going to hit create proposal, and we have our sedan. We'll pretend it's a Cybertruck or a truck option, and we're going to hit send. This is where you make sure that all their information is correct. So on the other screen, I had it inputted as their home phone number, not their cell phone number, so they wouldn't get notifications to it. Again, this is where you can edit anything. So here we have the insert expected time. So I would have either myself or our front end person insert, say it is only 2 front windows. It's going to take approximately 40 minutes. They would edit that. That's the only thing that I would edit in mine. Again, you don't have to have that at all.
Right.
And then you hit send proposal. Yes. And that's it. So
Okay. And Tim is asking, he says he knows how to do this, but thinks people would find it interesting. He says, show how to make how a deposit can be added to each proposal.
all right. So
because that seems to be a real big thing since COVID. Because so many places got booked so far out, and then you get somebody booked out 3, 4, 5 weeks, and you get a lot of no shows that way, and so
100%.
Deposits became a really regular thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think I started charging people deposits for the second time, probably a month into owning a business, and 2 people didn't show up. I was like, yeah, this isn't going to happen anymore. So definitely very beneficial. So the best way to do it, or one way to do it, not the best way, you can create an invoice. So once they say they approve, sorry. So on here, we can select whatever amount you want. You can select a percentage. If you scroll down here, and then again, it's going to take the percentage of whatever project price that you have. In the notes up top in the proposal, we had a $40 option. And then we'll select what kind of payment they have. And we'll just hit save deposit.
And so then if you have the Stripe all set up and everything on here, it automatically lets them pay. And
yeah, so you can select the or you can take a payment in store. So you'd record that if they come into the store, make a deposit, or send it online like e-transfer, whatever they want. And then on the invoice, it would show on there.
Okay.
And T-Town said he had a picture in each solution of how long it would take for time.
A picture of the time. Then he said, oh, it's in the settings after the approve a job in the proposal settings. I'm not sure what he's referring to there.
So he's saying that it's in.
Proposal
Or
setting.
T-Town. I'm not familiar how to do it on in this section here. Is that what he's referring to?
So
Well, it's kind of what it sounds like, but I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't have all the answers for everything. There's only so much that I've used personally in terms of how I set up my proposals. And again, like there's things that you guys post on the Tint Wiz community, which I'm like, oh, that's a super cool, way of doing things. I never thought of that way. And that's the great thing, is being able to utilize something in so many different ways. It's not just cut and dry. This is the way to do it. Like Eric and I were having a call, I think it was last week, and we're talking about how to setting up services and then being able to put them in the proposals, which is a way that I never did it. So again, there's pros and cons to each thing, or how you run your shop, and what you need to utilize it. And again, there's a lot of great feedback in the Facebook Tint Wiz community page, that again, tips and tricks that.
oh, he sent me a picture. Let me see if I can. Oh, this is not going to do it. I'm trying to like click my phone to focus in. So you see there, like in the proposal settings at the bottom, it'll have an option for require deposit, but it only shows before it's approved.
Oh, okay.
So in the proposal settings, gotcha, right. So because we approved this one, so let's go to this one.
I think you just have a special copy of Tint Wiz. I don't know, Tim.
I don't see it on there. But yeah, so I also, the other thing too is I don't have my demo account. So this is something that maybe Eric could answer, or again, the live chat or whatever, but I don't have my demo account hooked to a Stripe account or QuickBooks or anything like that. So that might be a reason of why I can't automatically send that and then automatically get a deposit from that proposal. So I would say safe bet is that might be why.
That makes sense, because I mean, if you don't have a way for them to give you a deposit, then
yeah. So I can manually accept on where we just were, just below the. So I can record one into my so I can record one in my invoices, which will show up once I generate this invoice and I hit a PDF or I send it or email it to them. It'll generate that deposit paid because I've manually inputted it. But because I don't have Stripe or Square or anything like that set up, then I would say that's probably the reason why.
That makes sense. It makes a ton of sense. And then, so I hear everybody talking about using live chat. I'm assuming over on the left-hand side at the bottom where it says support. Is that where live chat is?
Yeah.
Just
So hit down
that
support.
easy.
And then we have live chat down here. Sometimes you'll have a bubble come up here if you've already had a conversation with them. But yeah, live chat, YouTube videos nonstop, and Facebook community page is like, this is one of, when I had my business, this was one of my favorite ones. Not saying that the live chat isn't great, but again, you get those like variety of answers of so many different ways that you did not think to utilize each feature, or adding different things or doing things a little bit more efficient or whatever. That's the great thing about having an app like Tint Wiz and being so open about it, having so many great people a part of it, is you can get all that feedback.
For sure. Like the community is a way to really expand your mind or your view of what you can do with it, where live chat would be nice if you're like in the middle of putting together a proposal and you're like, where's that fucking button? I can't figure, oh my God, and real quick live chat. Hey, I'm trying to do this. Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Okay. Thank you. And
100%. Yeah.
Boom, you're gone. That's super exciting. Well, I mean, that is pretty much it. So how do people find you? Let's go ahead.
How do people find who?
You.
Nobody wants to find me.
You're supposed to be famous now. You're the new Tint Wiz guru. Everybody's going to want to get a hold of you.
Well, we all have things to learn, right? Like I'm not I wouldn't say a guru. Again, like I've used Tint Wiz for the last 4 years, but I definitely used it to the best of my abilities in terms of my business. So again, I still have a lot of things to learn, tips and tricks from everybody. I'm on there every day looking at what everybody else is doing, and kind of cool ways that I can try to help other people do it. But honest truth is the easiest way to get answers and grow your Tint Wiz, experience is on that live chat and on the Facebook community page. You are going to get, like, I can give you 2 or 3 ideas that how I made my proposal. But I used it for 2.5, 3 years before I reached out to Cody and was like, hey, I saw a picture of your proposal and I really like that intro that you had. That made it look so much easier. So that the fact that we all work together, grow together, I'm kind of here to just kind of create some content in the back end of things, add value to people's lives wherever I can. And I don't have all the answers all the time, but that's why we all are here as a community. So yeah,
awesome.
You can find me. I mean, like I'm on Instagram, Facebook, everything. If you want to add me, by all means. But the best place to go are those 2 places. And the reason I say the live chat is because it allows us to keep kind of a record of the questions, the common questions, the common ideas, all of those things to try to, do better on, work on, or, let the people talk. And if there's no record of that stuff, if you just message me and say, hey, like, I need your help, I want to do this, and I just do it all for you, then it makes it really hard to keep track of all of those things. But
you'll have to do it for them every time. But yeah, and that's the other thing with Tint Wiz is the whole coach thing. Some people are a little apprehensive about that, but the neat thing about the coach thing is there are people that are going to set aside time to do one-on-one and show you their things, and all the coaches are pretty much in the Tint Wiz community. So if you see something somebody posted that you're like, oh, hey, I love how he did that, well, ask them, how much you charge to spend a couple hours with me? let's see if we can get me something to put together. And remember, it's not like, you're running a business that sells items, if you will, whether it be a 4-door sedan or a set of doors or adding on an eyebrow or whatever, you're going to set these things up one time. So even if it seems like, oh, I got to pay for somebody to help me do that, that's cool. I mean, like, they have families and mouths to feed. So obviously they got to get a little bit for their time, but the payoff is going to be the fact that for the rest of your life, you can use that, and working with somebody one-on-one will help you to know how to maneuver that moving forward. And it's an investment.
Tons of value in it. You pay for training to do PPF or window tint or whatever to, expand your skills and your knowledge about something. So sitting down one-on-one with someone like Cody, for sure, definitely beneficial. Anybody else that want to offer help in doing the way they do, like, you don't have to realistically be a Tint Wiz coach, as long as you're willing to share your time and your knowledge, it all helps out in the end, right? So we're all here to see each other grow.
Yeah, I love it. Tint Wiz, it's where to be. And Tint Wiz, a lot of people do realize, but maybe a lot of people don't realize that Tint Wiz gives you a free 30-day trial. And a little secret, that if your 30 days is up and you haven't found time to use it, I heard rumors that if you message the right people, your 30 days can get extended to 60, and that's something that a lot of, like, we're a computer cut dealer, so you can subscribe to computer cut through us, but it's very finite. Like, it's a 30-day free trial to get acquainted with it. But if you download the trial and register it, and then for the next 3.5 weeks of your life, you just couldn't find time to sit down and look at it, you've got exactly 2 weeks of your life left to either learn it or don't, because 30 days with them is 30 days. It's not negotiable. So that's the other thing that's really cool about Tint Wiz, is it's very personable, and it's a big community. That's something that you don't really get with the support value that comes with it with a lot of other software companies. It just doesn't. I don't know. I love it. I support it. And besides that, there's lots of free gifts involved if you're.
It's always
Are you even a real tinner if you haven't at one point in your life gotten something from Tint Wiz?
I mean, that's fair. That's super fair considering. I mean, think about it. Like, I swear to God, he sends free stuff out to people that have just tried the 30-day trial.
Oh yeah, it's nonstop, and that's shows a lot of what the community is, right? Like, it's all about giving value versus receiving, right? So it's all about giving, and I think yeah, it's shown, and it's been consistent for 4 years. Like, I've been using for 4 years, and it's been very consistent. It's always the same thing. The support's always there. The people are always there. The community just gets bigger and bigger, and
it's constant application growth without cost growth. I mean,
exactly.
He's had the same price since day one, and there is nothing on this planet that costs the same today that it did 4 years ago. Nothing.
Yeah. So
that says something about the company behind what they're giving to you. Any other software, any other POS system, any other anything costs more today than it did 4 years ago. It just does.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong, or fight me. But guys, we went a little over because we started a little late. It's 5:30, and I believe we've been on just shy of an hour. I think you can let us slide. We're gonna get out of here, but yeah, check out Tint Wiz community on Facebook. Go to tintwiz.com, and if you haven't tried it, try it. It's free to try. And if you have any questions, there's links in the support to go to the Facebook, to go to YouTube, to even chat with somebody if you have any questions. So yeah, Tim said don't say that too loud. I'm home of the Detroit Lions. You know, all roads go through Detroit right now. So, anyways, guys, till next Tuesday.